An optical physicist at the University of Arizona ran this photograph through computer analysis. No double exposure, no superimposition, no tampering. Whatever the camera caught that day, the film is telling the truth about it. That's not the strange part. 26 years later, a research team lowered microphones into the same lake, and they recorded something clicking down there. Like a beluga whale, like a dolphin. Except nothing that echolocates lives in this lake, or can even get into it. A photograph that survives every test, a sound that shouldn't exist. Two pieces of evidence, 26 years apart, pointing at the stay to the end, because what the woman did with the negative is the reason this case can never be closed. Lake Champlain, 120 miles of cold, deep water between Vermont, New York, and Quebec, deeper than 400 feet in places, big enough to hide almost anything. The monster story here is older than the country, and here's where this channel is different. The most famous piece of it is fake. You'll read everywhere that the explorer Samuel de Champlain, quote, is a misattribution. What he actually described was most likely a garfish. So let's throw that out. What's left is better. In 1873, a famous circus showman publicly offered a fortune for proof of the creature. Sightings kept coming for a century. And by the 1980s, the thing had something no other lake monster has: legal protection. The village of Port Henry declared its waters a safe haven in 1981. Vermont's House passed a resolution protecting Champ in 1982. New York followed in 1983. Real paper, real governments, for an animal that officially doesn't exist. And in the middle of all that paper, one photograph. On July 5th, 1977, a woman stopped with her family on the Vermont shore. And then, maybe 150 feet out, the surface opened. She grabbed her camera, one Kodak Instamatic, one frame, and caught this. Marker 1, the analysis. Computer analysis. The photo eventually reached Dr. B. Roy Frieden at the University of Arizona's Optical Sciences Center. His conclusion? No evidence of tampering. Not a montage, not a double exposure. One caveat, and we keep it, because honesty, the analysis proves the film is honest. It cannot prove what was in front of the lens. Marker 2, the size. An oceanographer LeBlanc did something clever. He measured the wind waves in the frame and used them as a ruler. His published estimate for the object? Somewhere between 4.8 and 17 meters. Even the low end is a very big animal. That estimate has been challenged, but, it's in the scientific literature, which is more than almost any photo like this can say. Marker 3, and here the case starts to fight itself. Sandra Mansi could never show anyone the negative. She threw her negatives away, habitually, all of them. She couldn't point to the exact spot on the shore. The other photos from the same roll? Gone too. Every one of those facts is human. Normal people throw away negatives, and every one is exactly what you'd expect if something needed hiding. Both true. Sit with that. Then 2 investigators walked the shoreline in 2002. Their reconstruction hurts.
The bay they identified is about 14 feet deep. Their candidate, a rising, waterlogged log.
One of them argues the object could be barely a meter tall. Look at the split screen. Neck or root? If the photo were the whole file, I'd say explainable, and we'd all go home. It's not the whole file. 2002, a bioacoustician, someone who records animal sound for a living, picks up an echo signal she compares to an orca. 2003, a different team. Hydrophones, filming a documentary. And the water answers again. Structured, repeating, directional. That's the signature of echolocation. Beluga territory. Dolphin territory. Small problem. No beluga, no dolphin, no porpoise lives in this lake. Locks, dams, rivers. There's no honest way in. Now the skeptic pass, because that's the job. I mean, look, equipment noise? The team says the pattern's too structured. An unknown fish? None documented that clicks like this. And a TV documentary is not peer review. That stays on the table. But folks, this isn't one lucky tape. 2002, 3, 14, 18, 2024. 5 recordings, no owner. And folks, this file is still alive. I mean, look, July 24th, 2023. A charter captain is fishing for lake trout. Look, his sonar lights up, a large body, fins, a long neck, gliding right over the trout on the lakebed. He takes it to a researcher who's hunted this thing for years. Her verdict? Not a bait ball. Not any known species. (1977), a photograph. 2003, the clicks. 2023, sonar. Three instruments, 5 decades. Same water. She never changed her story. Not in '81, when the magazines came. Not in 2002, across from 2 professional skeptics. She never wrote the book. Never named a price. 40 years, 1 sentence. I know what I saw. The evidence isn't sealed in an archive this time. It's just gone. Gone. Verdict time. Is the photo fake? No, the film is honest, that's tested. Look, is it a monster? Unprovable. And without the negative, the log survives everything we throw at it. Now the clicks, sourced never. But the sonar, still open. My conviction that something unknown is in that lake? Honestly, I keep going back and forth on this one. 60%. The photo alone wouldn't get me past 40. The audio and that sonar hit, that's what drags me over. What's your number? Drop it below with your reasoning. Best argument gets pinned. I read everything. Subscribe. New file every week. This is Dead Signal. The camera saw what you didn't.